How's it going, everyone? Welcome back. We are here in Starfield, so continuing where we stopped last time, which was many days ago. I kind of neglected Starfield because I was mostly busy with Alpine, and I had actually prepared a special thing for this episode. If you guys watched, and some of you maybe watched, in the previous episode we finished the Freestar Collective questline, and we got a hold of this magnificent ship. Let me show you. Star Eagle, look at that. And even though it's Class A, it's a very good Class A. In fact, probably the best Class A base ship, right? Without any modifications. So, I feel much better. Alright, so here's what we're gonna do today. We are leaving the Cheyenne system. We are going home, kinda. Sorta. Relativistically speaking, right? To Sol system. We're gonna have a little vacation, staycation. But not to Earth. We're going on the moon of Jupiter. Is it Callisto? No, it's Titan. No, it's Saturn's. It's a Titan, the moon of Saturn. That's right. There's a special place there called New Homestead. All right. And now we're gonna have fun. Ba-dum. You know what? Nothing like a fresh last night coffee from McDonald's. Not bad. There's a unique texture when you leave, coffee overnight in the fridge.
Entering United Colonies space. Maintain course and prepare to be scanned. And we're done. Enjoy New Homestead.
Enjoy. Yeah, this is UC. The only thing I don't like about Star Eagle is this vision, the screen. It's kind of too narrow. You don't really see much. I guess it's meant to be more focused for combat, right? Anyhow. So this is, oh man, this is like one of my favorite moments in
Gotta hand
Starfield.
it to these folks. They've decided that Sol is worth fighting for.
Yep. It's extreme cold environment, snow.
Welcome to New Homestead. Please make your way to the building at the end of the path and down into the colony below. Stay safe and enjoy your visit.
I prepared lots of coffee here because there will be lots of coffee drinking. Now, New Homestead, it's basically Gnar or Narmak or Hla-Od of Starfield. Meaning nothing really happens here. It's one of those like very inconsequential villages or towns. But there's some really fun stuff to do here. And we're gonna do that. Actually, one of my favorite moments in Starfield. You guys gonna see.
Finally, a museum. Now we're in the good stuff.
Yeah, my suit is going crazy.
Feel free to look around, but don't touch.
Touch what? There's like nothing to touch here. Nothing feels touchy. To me, at least. Maybe he meant this kind of like a equipment. Alright. I just love this atmosphere. Barrett, anytime. Where is Barrett? Wuist Barrett. Is that how you say it in German? Wuist? Berries? I'm in a little bit good mood because actually today I'm supposed to edit the video. I will edit after this. I just need to record a little bit. Let's change the the clothes now. I'm not here like a ranger, you know. Especially I'm in the United Colonies. Mm. Wow, everything I have is related to the Rangers. Let me wear the settler poncho outfit. Okay. Oh my god, Barrett. So, wow, where to begin? This is a legit town. People live here, as you guys gonna see. But it's a very special place. And you can tell I'm talking now because once we start doing something, there'll be lots of others talking, and we're gonna listen mostly. You can tell that this is where Bethesda really did the homework, the research, and they kind of like actually made some effort in the writing. Because now we're gonna learn a lot about how the settlement came to be, the origin, the history, and a little bit of science of a near future, but in a very realistic, grounded way. Like, you can tell, again, the writers, the developers really did their research. And I'm pretty sure they consulted, you know? Like, I remember like few years ago, several years ago, there was this interview from Todd Howard and Elon Musk. So if I remember well, Bethesda actually was in contact with Elon Musk, not Musk, Elon Musk, about, you know, the possible or potential, you know, near future, you know, science stuff and the colonizations, because that was a time when, you know, Elon Musk was known as that Mars guy, right, and nothing else. It's funny how things change. Just a few years ago, things were so different.
Sure, I've got a minute.
I'm gonna give him some
I
stuff.
might have some room in here. Let's see.
Well, we're gonna squeeze in. I might have some room. He's like almost empty. Let me just... Oh yeah, I am over encumbered like crazy. What the hell? "25 weapons. Just a second. Exotic bottles. I have 6 of these uniforms, yeah. Alright.
Okay.
So I think this is
Right.
like the origin of the like a helium-3 as fuel and all these things, you know. Okay. Because I think helium-3 is one of the legit like potential fuels of the future, I think. Although I don't think none of this will happen ever. But that's a whole different story. Let's just pretend. Oh yes, you're gonna colonize Mars in 2050. Yeah, right. So I think they were kind of like consulting Elon Musk or probably some of his people. You know, I don't think Elon Musk, you know, personally work on Starfield, and but Bethesda was going for this NASA punk, right, or NASA punk, how you pronounce it, and which is supposed to be rooted in realism. Well, this part of the game is that really focuses on that, because there will be a tour. We can actually pay a guy, an NPC, and he will give us like a full-on tour all around New Homestead, and he's gonna talk and discuss about all the, you know, this little like a details about how it all developed, what they did, this early scientist. Like, it's actually fun, you know. And even the NPC, like at first is like, oh my god, I do have to listen to this guy. Like, it sounds kind of annoying. But then as it goes on and on, he becomes very likable. And in the end, I always decide to tip him really good. So, like, just overall, really wholesome story. So we're gonna do that today. And I'm gonna bring Barrett. Where is Barrett with me? Because I need to do his quest later. Anyhow, this is kind of like a little reception here, right? Before we go there, this is where, you know, most of the place is. Let's just go here. There's something about this place I really like. Here actually are some kind of like a not botanic gardens. How would you even call it? Hmm? Oh. Is it here? Oh, no, it's not here. I made a mistake. This is some kind of a tower. It's been a while since I was here. Let's go down. Ground floor. And this is what? Energy systems office. Yeah. Well, oh yeah, it's here. It's here. So New Homestead actually started as a science base. Like in the very, very, very early colonization time. Actually, before even colonization. Like the first thing that NASA did, even that back then it was still NASA, you know? Not whatever it is now. Nova Galactic.
Homestead is a living history exhibit, but these are real people, so please be kind to them.
Yeah. So it was built by NASA to research to find life on Titan. And they didn't find any life. And they kind of abandoned everything. But soon after, actually, people settled it and turned it into a colony. So that's kind of like the origin story. And there are actually people living here. Like,
I've heard about lots of other planets out there. Some of them sound pretty scary, though.
Don't stay outside for too long here on Titan. You'll freeze solid without the proper protection.
yeah. Well, everyone is so helpful here. So yeah, and what's also really interesting is that lots of these people never left. And that's kind of like a common thing in many places in Starfield, in the settled systems. Even New Atlantis. Like, you know...
You're always talking about how important it is to preserve our traditions. But why do we have to farm? How is that part of our tradition?
Well, we tend to farm here because we need to grow food. And that's what our ancestors did on Earth.
But didn't they have big open fields and giant machines? We don't have any of that.
She makes a good point, dear.
It's because we have a much smaller space to work with.
So then, it's not really the same, is it? How is it a tradition if it's not the same thing as they did? And so then, why is it important that we preserve it?
I don't know, it just is. Now, we don't want to fall behind on work, so let's get back to it, okay, kiddo?
Okay, fine.
Some of us are quite happy with our lives here. We don't need tourists distracting us with their flights of fancy.
Yeah. The Bethesda really did lots of dialogues here. Just love this atmosphere. Like outside it feels like feels like Antarctica or something. Cold and salty. And man, this material has to be really, really solid. This glass. But yeah, this is like they grow some food, I guess, here.
We were learning about Jemison in my class the other day. Can we go there someday, Mama?
Those folks in Sidonia may be closer to Earth, but we do a better job preserving its traditions.
But not until then.
So yeah, that's what I was talking about. Like, if you go through our settled systems, you see lots of people say
talk about it before
they
we
never left.
You know we can't afford to leave the farm. People here depend on us. Tell you what, your mom and I will talk about it.
Thanks, Papa.
And you'd think it's easy, but it's not. I mean, for us it's easy because as the way we started and everything, we were given a ship. But not everyone can just sit in a ship and fly, you know? Fly all around.
We talked about
Okay, let's go. Residential wing. So this is the living. These are the living conditions.
Do you have a spaceship? I want to get a spaceship when I'm older. They're so cool.
His name is Child.
I kind of want to try food from that Chunks place, but my papa says it's just a bunch of junk food for tourists.
Imagine the childhood here. He's running at least. He's doing pretty okay.
I don't mind the tourists. They help the local economy.
No, that's right.
Off-worlders always ask how I can live here. I wonder how they can live anywhere else.
That's the spirit. That's the spirit. I could just make a documentary. Like, if this is a real place, I'll come here and make a documentary talking about it, interviewing these people, you know? So yeah, not everyone can sit in a spaceship and fly around the settle systems and do whatever. You know, shoot lasers and... Like, a lot of people just live wherever they are. It kind of reminds me a little bit of... you know, the Warhammer 40,000? Is it the name? I'm not very familiar with the lore and the setting. I only heard about it. But I just know that there are like many planets. And there are different planets. Like, you have a planet where it's like a feudal, you know, kind of like a Middle Ages, whatever, government style. And then you have another planet which is like more like a futuristic, dystopian, you know, hive cities. And, you know, people from one planet, their whole life, all they know about is that their planet, that kind of life. They're not even aware, you know, of different lifestyles and everything. So, to me, it's kind of fascinating a little bit. So this is kind of similar, but a much lesser scale. Let me see what's this. To whom it may concern, a letter to the school board. My daughter Sylvie is part of the UC Remote World Learning Program. In this month's study kit, she was assigned a book titled The Hills Cry Jameson. As I do all books assigned to her, I took to reading it first to judge suitability for my daughter. How do you get off giving her this garbage to read? Her assigned learning counselor tells us it's really about building friendships, learning to tolerate others' differences, and overcoming adversity. That's all fine and good. Those are important lessons, but I see it for what it is, nothing but propaganda promoting your planet. My daughter is a proud new homesteader, and I see to it she remains that way. I don't want her getting silly ideas in her head about picking up from her home and family and moving to your consumer wasteland of a world. Sylvie will not be reading this book. I want my daughter to learn, but if you keep sending her material that pushes her away from me, I'll have no choice but to homeschool her, which places a huge burden on my family due to farming responsibilities. Please reconsider the reading material you send our way. Nathaniel, Manila. Wow. I'm telling you, Bethesda really made some effort in the world building and storytelling here in this place. Especially since it's like totally irrelevant. You never have a reason to come here. But that's what I like about Bethesda. These are the best examples of their games. Well, one of the best examples. Just random lived-in gritty places, you know, and Barrett glitching. So I actually approach the living space from the other side, from here. I usually go the right way. These are the public restrooms. So they have a museum here, which is actually very interesting. And I like this idea of like a small place, you know, somewhere in the solar system on a Titan, that kind of is proud, you know, and they want to prevent or to you know, to protect or keep the old traditions of Earth. You know. Oh, my eyes, I'm sorry about that. Just woke up, that's why. And You know, Mars, if you go to Cydonia, I think they say they're like the earliest colony. But I believe this is even earlier. So they're even here. This is like a big garage that's actually transformed into like a living area. So look at this, for example. Like this is someone's little apartment. You know, what's this? Oh, is this supposed to be toilet? Do they have a door? At least it's a little bit hidden here, like here. So can I sit here? I cannot. I mean, there's some privacy, I guess. No mirrors. Yeah, living like this will definitely... Adrian Brasilia's diary. Things have been tough since mom left and dad died. I'm very alone here, but I'm hanging in there. Dad was never quite the same after she left, and mom, well, I'm glad she's gone. I never seemed good enough for her, and her new boyfriend was kind of a jerk. I'm finishing up school, and then hopefully I can get out of here too. But it's hard because even though my classes cost next to nothing, I still have lots of expenses and I barely have enough to eat. I only earn scraps from Jaya and Anja. Or Anya. It's not like they have tons of credits either. And because I have to take time away from my studies, my grades suffer. It sucks. Why is everything so hard? How do other people do this? No one around here has really gone to college except for Dr. Lakota. And maybe that new lady, Joyce. Dr. Lakota doesn't really have time for me, and the few times I went for advice, she was just like, stick with it, kid, you'll get in there if you put in the work. I don't know what to do. I thought writing it down would help, but now I just have a place. I can remember how bad I feel right now. So that's cool. Adrian, Brasilia. I just took her diary. I don't know why picking up any kind of book in Starfield, you can't put it back, you have to pick it up. That's kind of weird. Is that you, Adrian, Brasilia? You look unique.
Must be nice to be able to afford to travel, huh?
Oh, is that Portuguese?
Oh, you don't really want to talk to me. I'm just a nobody from the crates. Besides, I'm not really good at talking to tourists about New Homestead. If you're really interested in our history, talk to Maurice. He's a lot better at that than I am.
Actually, I would love to talk to you, really. I'm interested in small stories.
You do? I mean, sure. I don't know what I can tell you, but if you want to talk, I don't have anything else I need to do right now.
Sure. So, you're having trouble with studies? Yeah, I read your diary. Oops.
Okay, well, no. Not the studies specifically. Like, I get good grades when I'm able to apply myself. But I'm poor. I just don't have the kind of money to be a full-time student and support myself. Even living in the cheap-ass crates. I keep having to take odd jobs just to put food on my plate. And when I do, my grades suffer. I just feel like I'll be stuck in a rut forever.
Like, why is the United Colonies not doing anything about them? I can say that's too bad. Maybe you'll be able to afford it one day. You can be successful without finishing school. You may just need to get out of New Homestead. I can give her 20,000 credits. Consider this a scholarship. 20,000 credits is a lot. This is like the amount of bribe we were offered by Ron Hope at the end of the previous quest line. I'm gonna give her 20,000. I have lots of credits.
What? Really? I don't know what to say.
Not
This
that,
is
so.
beyond kind of you. I mean, I don't even know you, but wow, thank you.
That was a kind thing to do. If only birthright wasn't the barrier to knowledge. Maybe someday.
Yeah. She doesn't have a birthright. You have to earn. Every single citizen on New Atlantis has to earn. I think that's what he meant. Or maybe not.
Okay, continue.
Yeah.
I know now isn't the best time, but I need to talk with you later.
Yes, we will find
You
Urban or...
off-worlders have it made.
Hi there. Always nice seeing a new face.
Just looking around. Okay. And then there's places here. And I think originally this is supposed to be even bigger, right? Scaled. This is a more scaled version. So yeah, they all have these weird... They look like art installations for their toilet seats. Wow. Kind of practical though. But yep. It's all rusty.
We used to get more tourists than we do these days.
Yep. Alright. Whoa.
Hey.
Okay.
It's a little weird that people come here to see what early colony life was like. To me, it's just how we live.
Yeah, lots of locals actually don't even want to leave. That's like the whole point.
You'll never catch me.
The hell? Lounge. It's very dark here. Clinic. I mean, they have a clinic. That's a good thing. No, I want to find the museum. Let me see.
You get used to the methane processing smell after a while.
Methane processing. Yeah, that's how they started. Let's go. Back to the beginning. Okay. Alright. Now we're gonna go.
You're always talking about how important it is to preserve our tradition.
The girl is really trying to leave. We can talk to her.
And giant machines? We don't have any of
Joyce.
She makes a good point, dear.
Wait, how do I...
Lots of
exit?
history here, if
Yeah.
you're into that sort of thing.
Alright.
Sure would be nice to get off-world sometime.
Alright. Now this is it. Entering new homestead. Now this is more like for tourists,
We
right?
take vandalism seriously here. You don't mess with history.
You don't mess with history. They have chunks, but there's also an authentic old world or old earth restaurant down there, I believe. We're gonna go there. And yeah, there it is, the brown horse or something.
Very informative. I didn't know about the methane harvesters before coming here.
The Brown Horse Tavern, was it, huh? The food was better than I expected from a backwoods planet like this.
It has a quaint charm, doesn't it?
That's a
Just like
tour.
the rest of New Homestead.
Well, I hope you'll come back and see us again sometime. And I hope you'll consider another Starsap Tour. Tell your
Starsap
friends.
Tour.
Bye. We will. Thanks
Yep.
again.
That's what we're gonna do. Starsap Tour.
Excuse me, Bill. You've got to do a better job of keeping your tour groups out of trouble.
What do you mean?
That little boy almost wound up on my operating table. Claudio said he was playing with some of the machinery down by the mines and nearly got his arm stuck inside. It could have been ripped off.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know, kids, little troublemakers. I'll tell the guests to be more careful.
Damn right. You've got to do something. Or else next time it happens, I'm billing you personally.
Jeez. Good old Bill Starsap. So his tour is very fun. We're gonna do that. Let me just look around. This is like the museum. So what do I have on display here? Championship Baseball, Boston, Massachusetts, 1978. Game-winning soccer ball, International League, 2018. Basketball used by the US World Champion basketball team, 1992. Record-setting home run baseball, 1935. It's all about sports and stuff. Game-winning... no, basketball used by United States World Champion basketball. Did they talk about the Dream Team? 1992. Was that like the first Dream Team with Michael Jordan? And Larry Bird and all those legends? And here we have a Biggie and a Ducky. Commercial reproductions of Earth fauna. Throughout human history, replicas of Earth animals were used in many different ways, from toys and games to more practical uses such as these items. Piggy bank, left. As far back as the 15th century, hollowed out ceramic statue of the animal known as pig were popularly used to store physical currency. Yeah, by the way, all those animals are gone. No pigs, no ducks, no horses. I don't think there are even cats and dogs. Which is, I don't know why. Because they have pretty amazing like cloning technology. Why can't I just clone? For some reason Bethesda decided not to use any like familiar animal. Yeah. Decoy duck, right. Waterfowl known as ducks were once hunted near Earth's marshes for sport and food using ballistic rifles. The description sounds like really someone wrote who never had no idea about how life on Earth used to be like. Yes, they used to hunt these animals for sport using ballistic rifles. To facilitate this activity, hunters would often place wooden decoy ducks in the water and use a small woodwind instrument to produce an accompanying call resembling that of the duck in order to lure it in. It's like describing some savage traditions from 2000 years ago. What's this? This is like a Walkman or CD player.
Hello there. The museum here is free to everyone.
Ooh, sitar? Is this sitar? Antique instrument of unknown origin. Earth. Believed to be of West African origin, possibly a type of ngoni, a harp-like string instrument, traditionally used in ceremonies accompanied with chanting and storytelling. This instrument was generously donated to the new Homestead Museum, but its true origin is unfortunately lost to time. Huh. What? I have no idea. Haha, this is cool. A range of antique Earth computers ranging from the late 1980s to the mid-2000s. Computers have existed in some form since Charles Babbage's difference engine in 1822. The years from the mid-20th century into the early 21st century were known for some of the greatest advances in computing technology, as computers shrank from gigantic room-sized devices filled with vacuum tubes to small boxes filled with microprocessors like the ones you see here. Yep.
by with it later.
And they have like a souvenir store here.
Oh, thank you, Jay. I don't know what to say.
Don't worry about it. You just keep on being you.
I know you didn't have to give me money, but thanks. I appreciate it.
Yep. Anyways, let's go start the tour. Yeah, I think it'll last about half an hour at most. And then after the tour, we come back here and we're gonna go to the Brown Horse Tavern for some authentic old Earth food.
Come to New Homestead for the history, stay for the quaint charm. Why, hello there! I'm Bill Starsap of Starsap Tours. Let me tell you, this place is full of history and interesting facts. For instance, did you know that New Homestead was one of the first colonies established outside of Earth? It's been populated in some capacity for over 200 years.
That's incredible, I had no idea.
Like, what's the big deal?
Yes, sirree, and that's not science fiction, it's science fact. There's a lot more history where that came from. So what do you say? I've got an opening. I could take you on a tour right now if you'd like.
Sure, let's go.
It was for all of humanity.
I guess so. Maybe I need to look up more about it.
Let's start.
Excellent! You won't regret it. My tours are one of a kind. Now, there's just the matter of price. The going rate for a genuine Starsap tour is only 100 credits.
Sure.
Great! Let's get this show on the road, eh? All right, so this is New Homestead's main concourse. This underground area didn't exist when the original outpost, Titan Astrobase, was finished in 2130. Follow me. We'll come back here by the end of the tour and talk about the museum collection.
Good.
But first, let's go see where people live. Now remember, these people aren't actors. They actually live here, so try to be respectful of that. While
I wish I
the
could-
original inhabitants of the Titan Astrobase lived in pods like you saw up above, they transitioned down here when this section of the base was finished in 2144. Space is extremely limited, so you'll notice some overflow here, but more residences also exist on lower levels, which are inaccessible to tours.
Oh.
I'll stop at each of our destinations if you want to look around, or if you have any questions for me.
Speak with Bill.
Have any questions so far?
Can you tell me more about how people lived before this was all built?
The original Titan Astrobase had more habitation pods on the surface connected to some of the old structures you may have seen in the back. As the colony grew, the base was expanded underground, and those hab units were recycled into materials used down here.
I see, I see. How many people lived here?
I'm not sure the exact count, but New Homestead is a fairly small colony. What you see is what you get for the most part, except for some other people who live in the private lower levels. Some, particularly security, and yours truly, even commute from other worlds.
I'm really interested about this private lower levels. I don't think I ever been there, to be honest. The overflow area looks cramped. What's with that?
Sadly, it's difficult to get additional construction done inside these underground caverns. So for now, additional populations are housed in these stacks of old shipping crates. As you might expect, this is where some of the less wealthy can afford to live. It's not glamorous, but they are functional and cozy.
Cozy. I'm ready for whatever's next.
Alrighty. We'll be taking the residential elevator to the farms area on the surface level. This way, please. Let's leave these good people alone for now and go check out the farms. Follow me up the elevator.
It's always so cold here.
Cold. All right. Oh, he left. The farm area.
New Homestead's farms are the beating heart of the colony. Without them, the original outpost would have shriveled and died. These pods are sealed and climate controlled, the perfect environment for growing the hydroponic vegetation needed for survival in the early days of the colony.
I love the view.
Any questions about the farms?
Sure. Are the farms still operational?
Oh, they are indeed. Colonists still cultivate plant-based food for their own consumption here in New Homestead.
Yep.
It's less vital to their survival these days, as they also import supplemental food from other colonies, including meats, dairy, and synthetics. However, most citizens here take pride in a New Homestead-grown, sustainable diet.
What do they grow here?
These days, it's a mix of what you find elsewhere in the galaxy, but in the olden days, it was all brought over from Earth. It was a lot of hardy root vegetables like potatoes, carrots, beets, and such, supplemented with corn, peas, green beans, soy, etc., which didn't always grow as well.
I don't know, it just is. No, we don't want to fall behind.
So how is this
So let's get
different
back to it,
from
okay,
anywhere
kiddo?
else in the galaxy?
Good question. It's largely the same, because this was the colony that pioneered the techniques you see elsewhere.
Yeah.
But you'll notice that the farms here are smaller and staffed by humans, not robots.
Oh, that's true.
Things here are a little more old-fashioned compared to some of the large factory farms you'll find elsewhere in the settled systems.
Let's move on.
Onward it is! We'll be stopping by the Brown Horse Tavern later in the tour, which uses many of these locally sourced ingredients in their cooking.
Cool.
But for now, it's just a short way to our next stop. Follow me! So, the old biolabs are just on the other side of this building, believe it or not. We'll step on through the hallway there. They're not in use anymore, but the colony has faithfully recreated them as a historical exhibit, true to the original purpose of the Titan Astrobase. Sadly, they're undergoing some light renovation. Otherwise, there'd be interactive activities for kids to learn about how they used to search for microbial life here.
Can we go there?
The people here live a simple life. Try not to complicate it.
Pardon the dust, but I can still answer some questions about the old Titan Astrobase biolabs.
Sure. What kind of life did they find here?
Funny you should ask. Sadly, none. See, NASA funded the Titan Astrobase project because conditions seemed ripe for primordial life to form in Titan's methane pools. They tested many different sites, performed deep core ice drilling, and more, yet nothing turned up.
So that was it? What did they use these labs for after no life was found?
Well, NASA defunded the xenobiology program in 2132, but a scientist by the name of Catherine Neely proposed research into advanced colony building on inhospitable worlds. So, by 2135, work began on what would ultimately set us all up to create habitats anywhere humans dared to explore. These very labs housed the computer systems used in that research. That and general storage for the colony. Lots of storage.
Okay, so you keep mentioning the Titan Astrobase, but what is that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I completely forgot to mention that. That's what this place was originally called. When NASA divested its interest in the Astrobase and turned it over to the people back in 2185, they renamed it New Homestead and established it as a historical site.
Oh, I see, I see. Okay, let's keep moving.
You got it. On to our next stop. Next, we'll be heading outside, so make sure to check those seals on your suit.
Oh, we're going outside. Good, good, good. Ba, ba, bum.
Because it's a bit chilly out there. We're going out into the frozen wastes of Titan to see what powers this planet.
Sure.
Watch your step outside, by the way. The ice can be slippery if you're not careful. The goal is to keep people out of Dr. Lakota's infirmary.
Yeah, I saw her earlier. Very cheerful person. All right. You gonna put a suit on or? Oh, there you go. Let's freeze our asses, our arses.
Enjoy your visit here.
Anyway, where were we? Oh, yes. Powering New Homestead. As you might imagine, generating energy was a real challenge back in the day because the technology was much more crude then. But crude or not, it was that technology that sustained the old Astro base. And it might surprise you to learn that the same technology is still working today.
I wish I could walk in the same pace. Like, I walk much slower.
The interesting thing about this old colony is that it's mostly powered by clean, renewable energy. You'll see one of the methods used on the horizon up ahead. That's right, New Homestead's famous wind farms.
Yep.
This spot was chosen for the colony in part because of its constant winds.
Maybe we should stay inside.
These turbines have been integral to the colony's function since its establishment as a cheap, mostly reliable source of electricity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's quite windy here.
So, let's talk about wind power, shall we?
Okay. So what's so interesting about the wind power?
You're looking at a piece of history. Sure, wind power is used throughout the galaxy, but these people were able to make do with it for hundreds of years. It's impressive that was all they had back then, and still make it work to this day.
I didn't think Titan was all that windy.
You're right. Most surface wind on Titan isn't too terribly strong, but here, the altitude and other conditions are perfect for sustained wind power. Like many worlds with atmosphere, the higher you go, the windier it gets.
So do these turbines really power the entire colony?
Mostly. I'm sure you've noticed the occasional brownouts. I guess these old machines have a habit of freezing up, what with all the ice out here. There's some methane on reserve for critical life support systems, but everything else here is otherwise powered by the units you see here.
All right. Let's move on.
You're the boss. Let's go. Moving right along, we're going to learn
Methane.
about Titan's great natural resources. Titan is rich with hydrocarbons like methane and ethane. Surely you saw huge pools of this stuff on your descent into New Homestead. I like to think they add to the natural beauty of this world. Though, of course, stay away from them because, like anything beautiful, they can be dangerous. Just like my last ex-wife's pet. She had this gorgeous, I don't know what you'd call it, creature. The guy that sold it to her couldn't tell her what it was or where it was from. I don't think it was even a legal sell, to be honest. The thing was very easy on the eyes. Feathers, all the colors of the rainbow. Nasty bite, though. Wound up in the hospital and almost lost my hand. Still not enough for her to get rid of the dang thing. Anyway, there's a reason she's my ex-wife. But enough about me. We were talking about methane and other resources, right?
Oh, there, I see. Those are big ones.
Hey, can you believe it? Back in the 20th century on Earth, they used to fight wars over natural resources like this and petroleum.
Yep.
They had this whole moon here basically made of hydrocarbons in their own backyard. They just couldn't get to it. Incredible how far we've come.
Yet there's still wars.
Homestead is home to one of the oldest and largest methane processing
That's kind of the irony,
plants
right?
in the settled systems. Every year, you see engineers go through a painstaking, month-long maintenance process. That's how this place has remained operational as long as it has. I'm not going to take you too close to the machinery, liability and all, but I can still answer questions.
Right.
Questions? Fire away.
What do they do with all this methane?
Facts mostly, since this world is so methane rich and has the infrastructure for it, a lot of the UC's methane comes from Titan. Of course, new homesteaders use it themselves for everything from generating heat to turning it into breathable oxygen via modern science.
How can you turn methane into oxygen?
Oh, no one's ever asked me that before. Something to do with methane-eating microbes, I believe? I honestly don't know. Sorry.
How can they shut the plant down for maintenance if people rely on it to live?
It's not as if they shut down for a month. It's not shut down at all, actually. See, this place is built with redundant systems, so they can shut it down piece by piece and suffer only a reduction in throughput. During that time, the UC gets more of its resources from other places, allowing New Homestead to maintain what it needs.
Cool. Let's go.
Okie dokie, artichoke. There will be time for more later anyway. So, this next stop is a bit of an interesting one. I only recently made it part of the tour. Fun fact, it's also the only natural landmark on the tour.
Oh, that big rock over there?
A glacial spire we affectionately call Ymir's Horn.
Ooh.
This colus used to be named after a character in a popular fantasy novel, but it was changed a couple hundred years ago to avoid any potential litigation. Now, what's a colus, you might say? Colus derives from the Latin word for hill, and scientists only gave names to groups of hills on a planet's surface. So in reality, the term you hear more often is the plural, coles, with an E. You probably don't hear it very often where you're from, because it was usually a term reserved for unexplored planets, back when they didn't have the technology to describe what they were seeing firsthand. Because of that, the term is much more common in the Sol system, but you may still hear it occasionally in reference to uncharted worlds.
Oh,
This
wow.
planet's full of them, though, and they like to preserve that history here.
Let me ask him.
So here it is, Ymir's Horn. You're free to take a closer look if you like.
Ymir? Who's that? The giant? Wait.
According to ancient Norse mythology, Ymir was the first Jotun, a frost giant. In the legend, they were both male and female and gave birth to the progenitors of all giants from their armpits. Ymir even predated the Norse gods, who, as it turns out, killed Ymir to fashion the earth and all of humanity from the corpse. It's a fascinating story, and the horn here is a fitting tribute to it.
I'll be right back.
Just be careful, it can get slippery out that way. I'll wait here.
So he mentioned that it used to be called different, but they had to change the name for like legal reasons. And I think I read somewhere, it's actually many of these locations on Titan are named after Tolkien's characters. So I think that Bethesda couldn't use those names, which is kind of interesting because, I mean, yes, they are the names from the Lord of the Rings and whatnot, but they're still names for a natural landscape, for locations. So I think it's kind of silly that you cannot use, let's say, Gandalf. This hill is called Gandalf, and we cannot use it in a game, even though it's a name of a real location. It's not on Earth; it's another planet. So I don't know how that works, really. Let me see. Methane and methane Accessories. Ooh. So yeah, I think originally the Titans locations, you know, are named after Tolkien, but they couldn't do it, so they named it Ymir, which I think is even better, to be honest. Makes more sense. And like he said, Ymir is this like a primordial giant from Norse mythology. But kind of fits here because, you know, it's all icy. It looks like a primeval icy land, right? Let me just find the right texture, right filter for this. Whatever. Look at my legs. Anyhow, Ymir's horn, you know, I think it's kind of suitable because I remember, like many years ago, I read there's this like a scientist researcher, Alexander von Humboldt, or I'm not sure how you pronounce his name, but he lived back in the actually late 18th century and maybe first half of the 19th century, so even before Darwin. So this guy, Alexander von Humboldt, like he was like all over the place doing like all kinds of science. I think he traveled through like South America, and I think he visited like Asia, Caucasus Mountains, and I'm not sure if it was him or... No, I don't think it was him. It was someone else, one of these researchers. But anyways, there's this really interesting theory about Ymir. It's more like a naturalistic, and that Ymir, because in the story there was a cow. The Ymir, I think Ymir was frozen in ice, and I think the primordial cow was licking the ice or the salt. And as she was licking, the Ymir got set free. And then he drank the cow's milk, and that's how the creation story started. So in this kind of this theory that I read somewhere, I forgot where, it's actually Caucasus Mountains, because after the glacial age, the ice retreated, it was melting, and like this entire story of the cow and the ice melting and releasing the first primordial man or giant. Like they said, oh, it's Caucasus, it's the origin, which to me was just interesting from the pure point of view of mythology, and how in the past people used to mix mythology and science. So when they said here Ymir's horn, and there's all this like ice, and this looks very salty and acidic, I think it's kind of suitable. Ymir. Oh, look at this landscape, man. There's like a large lake over there, I think. Good thing is my suit keeps regenerating, it protecting me. Yeah, that's a lake. There is another kind of touristy location. Let's go back. Much warmer. It's I forgot the name. It's basically like a resort, hotel, and we're also gonna go there, have a vacation in the future. And there we can actually walk without a suit. There's like a lake. It's very tropical looking, very beautiful. You can breathe the atmosphere. So we're gonna have fun. But today I really just want to come to Titan and explore a little bit. have a Starsap Tour. Let's go back to this guy. Where is he? There he is, standing for us. Waiting for us.
So here it is, Emir's Horn. You're free to take a closer look if you like.
Yeah, let's go.
Excellent. On to the next stop then. So, we're gonna head back inside through the methane processing plant. Try not to touch anything on your way. We want to make sure to respect Dr. Lakota's wishes to be safer around here. That brings me to another point. You'll notice the people around here have last names related to where their families originated from on Earth.
Oh, that's
as a way
right.
to remember the past. The museum curator, Maurice Leon, has more information about that if you're interested. You can find him inside the main concourse. Loves talking about it. You'll
Brasilia,
find
yeah.
most of the locals here are very friendly to tourists like yourself. Tourism is a major draw to this colony these days, and I respect that. Most of them are happy to talk at length about what they do here. Their rugged lifestyle is a point of pride for a lot of these folks.
Hmm. Are we going in here? Oh, good.
I know. I'll send someone to go patch it up again. We do what we gotta do until we can get the approval to replace the whole unit.
Where's the...
The leaks haven't been it's held together this long.
Hello, Bill. Come on, Bill. Don't get stuck outside. Right?
This area we're walking through is the nerve center of the plant, where technicians keep an eye on the operation.
If you need
Since
medical
methane
attention,
production
see
is
Dr.
such an
Dakota.
important part of the
But,
colony's
word of
livelihood,
warning,
it's
she-
important that the techs notice any issues and react to them quickly. Anyway, we're headed into the ice mines. It's a natural spring where water bubbles up from deep below, but due to the cold, it keeps freezing as it reaches the surface.
Okay. I forgot about the ice mines. Ooh, heat leeches.
This is a boring assignment, but let's keep it that way.
Salt mines. Yeah, salt and ice. So it does have like lots of references to Ymir. It makes sense to name it Ymir. Because the cow was licking the salt and ice from the frozen Ymir. I like it.
What else can I tell you about the ice mines?
Oh, the ice mines. I thought they were salt mines. I don't need to know any more about the ice mines. Is this where all New Homestead's water comes from?
Not all. Some water is created as a byproduct of methane processing, but that's usually saved in the emergency reserves.
I'm thirsty. Can I drink straight from the source?
I wouldn't recommend it. First, it's an active work site. Second, it still needs to be filtered and checked for contaminants. But don't worry, we'll stop somewhere for refreshments before the tour is over.
Alright, let's just go. Why not heat the area like the rest of the colony?
Good question. I believe it has something to do with not wanting to contaminate the water with methane and other chemicals. The ice helps prevent impurities in the water. At least this is what I've been told.
Sure, let's go.
Sounds good. Let's keep going then. We have just one more stop before we're done with the tour, and it just happens to be my favorite.
Let me guess.
This colony is home to the longest running establishment still in existence, the Brown Horse Tavern. The Brown Horse started as a simple mess hall for the scientists and workers when the underground was built, but it's been operated by the same family ever since. Now, what's a horse, you might say? They were a large four-legged animal on Earth, often used for transportation or manual labor. Long before space travel was even a dream for the folks of Earth, even before antique machines like automobiles were possible, horses could be found everywhere. You might have seen them in old movies or read about them somewhere. If not, I highly recommend looking into them sometime. They're beautiful animals. The tavern's original owner was infatuated with them, from what I understand, and named the place in their honor. The moniker, Brown Horse Tavern, is also a throwback to names of similar Earth restaurants.
Oh, really?
Hundreds of years before it was established.
That's a good
There it is.
They already gawk at us like we're some sort of
Careful.
curiosity.
There are some dangerous areas
I'm
around
just
here
trying
that
to have
aren't
a
part of
little
any
fun.
tours.
But you're probably right.
Nice place.
That delicious smell is making me hungry. Can I answer anything about the Brown Horse?
How could this possibly be the oldest restaurant in the settled systems?
Easy. All the other ones fell to ruin when we abandoned Earth. There were technically older ones on Mars, but those have long since shuttered or been replaced.
Many recommendations?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I honestly love everything Anya serves here. I'd be doing her a disservice to recommend one dish over another. You want the real answer? Order one of everything.
Sure. What can you tell me about the owner?
Anya Seattle is the current owner
Seattle.
of the Brown Horse. It's been in the Seattle family for generations. But Anya will be able to tell you more herself. Feel free to ask her. It doesn't feel right coming from me when she's standing right over there.
Okay, I'll come back later. Let's go.
Okay then. All right, we're headed to the last stop. Right back where we began.
Sure.
Feel free to check out the museum exhibit in the main concourse here.
No, now isn't
These displays are full of rare Earth trinkets salvaged from before humanity left, and Maurice is happy to talk about the collection.
Okay.
The museum's curator, Maurice, will be happy to talk to you if you want to know more.
All right, that's it.
Well, that's that. I hope you enjoyed Starsap Tours as much as I enjoy giving them.
It was very educational, thank you. So it was only 100 credits for this whole tour? That's actually very cheap, so I can say that was super boring. No, I can give him 500 credits. I love it. Here's a little something extra for you.
Oh, wow. I really appreciate it. You know, I rely on tips from good people like you, so thank you from the bottom of my heart. Enjoy the rest of your stay in New Homestead.
You know what? I'll match that.
Oh, really?
Fascinating bits on the hydrocarbon Maria, the coalies, the fumarolic ice towers, the processing plants. Just loved it all. And you were so patient explaining everything, probably for the millionth time. Now,
Exactly.
if you'll excuse us, we're going to the gift shop, right?
Take care.
Hey,
Yeah, I love...
When you're not busy, let's chat.
I love his enthusiasm, right? That he was explaining everything for a millionth time. So he deserved some tip. Anyways, this is where we're gonna stop right now. And the next episode, we're gonna finish up looking around New Homestead and then do some questing. You know? There are plenty of other quests to be done. Side quests, faction quest lines, whatnot. So let me guys know what you think. Did you like the tour? And what would you like to see in Starfield if you have any kind of specific ideas? And yep, that was it all for today. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.